Hello everyone. Thank you for choosing to watch this week's news capsule. In this fast-paced life of ours, you must meditate. Take a pause, tune everything out and find your inner peace. You might be surprised to learn that silence isn't empty. It is full of answers. It's time to begin with the news capsule.
Earlier this week, KPIT CSIR in Pune introduced the country's first hydrogen fuel cell bus that they developed together. In this bus, the hydrogen fuel cell uses hydrogen and air to generate electricity while producing only heat and water in the process. This means that the bus will generate no tailpipe emissions, which are the most harmful for our environment. India has set a target for zero emission from vehicles in the fight against climate change, and we are very happy to see the initiatives that keep in line with this important mission.
Last week, thousands of people gathered at the Zulu Royal Palace in South Africa for the coronation of a new king in the country's richest and most influential traditional monarchy. The title of king does not bestow any executive power, but the monarchs wield great moral and cultural influence over the Zulu population. Did you know that there are nearly 11 million Zulus in South Africa, making up nearly a fifth of the country's population? We congratulate Mr. Zulu Zulu as he succeeds his father to become the new king.
NASA's Artemis 1 moon mission is ready for August launch. There's some exciting news for our space enthusiasts out there, as NASA's first Artemis mission to the moon is finally ready for launch. This historic mission will be the first of NASA's Artemis program that aims to return astronauts to the moon after the successful Apollo program. Did you know that this is NASA's first new vehicle of its own in over a decade? This is also their first mission back to the moon in a spacecraft that has made for a crew in over 50 years. The SLS Mega rocket will embark on its 42-day mission to circle the moon on the 29th of August, and we can't wait to see what new information it brings back.
Igraasp, have you heard about NASA's James Webb Space Telescope? It is the largest and the most powerful space telescope ever built, and has allowed astronomers to see objects with much more clarity than before. Just recently, NASA unveiled incredible images of Jupiter that were captured by the telescope in July. In these photos, we can see the planet's northern and southern lights along with the swirling polar haze. Did you know that Jupiter has a great red spot which is storm big enough to swallow Earth? With this telescope, scientists hope to unravel the more mysteries of the universe, and we look forward to even newer discoveries.
Humans have cultivated over 6,000 different plant species. But did you know that over time, 3 crops have emerged as the most popular and contribute to nearly half the world's calories? These are rice, wheat, and corn. Now, as the impacts of climate crisis become worse, farmers across the world are trying to find new crops that might prove more useful in the face of drought or epidemics, while also offering important nutrients. For example, sorghum is a gluten-free grain in France that requires no irrigation, pesticides, and needs minimal fertilizer. Fonio is another kind of millet in Africa that is extremely resilient and can be grown in water-scarce regions. Some other drought-resistant crops that are making a comeback include amaranth, cowpeas, and taro. For more interesting news, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The fight against climate change may be starting a little late, but scientists around the world are working hard to find new and creative solutions to the crisis. This time, a team of scientists have come up with a novel idea to flood the world's oceans with more phytoplankton. Phytoplanktons are microscopic marine algae that consume carbon dioxide and have been responsible for creating over 50% of the oxygen in our atmosphere. By increasing their presence, we might be able to remove the harmful carbon from the earth. Isn't that an interesting solution, Igraasp?
The 2022 edition of the Badminton World Federation Championships kicked off to a start in Tokyo earlier this week. Continuing the momentum from the CWG, India's HS Pranoy staged a spirited comeback to beat champion Lakshya Sen to enter the singles quarterfinals before losing to JP Zhao in a closely fought battle on Friday. The men's doubles pairing of Dhruv Kapila and MR Arjun also continued their impressive run by reaching the semi-finals of the tournament where they faced the Malaysian duo Chia and So. We are so proud of our Indian contingent for their fantastic performance.
While Magnus Carlsen won the FTX Crypto Cup Rapid Chess title by taking an unsurpassable 2-1 lead in the best of 4 rapid games, R. Pragananda inflicted a stunning hat-trick of defeats to finish up as the runner-up in Miami. Not only did he win the 4th game, but he went on to win 2 of the Blitz tiebreaker matches. This is Pragananda's 3rd victory over Carlsen in rapid games this year. He previously beat Carlsen in the Athens Master Online Rapid event in February and the Chessable Masters in May. We congratulate both him and Carlsen for this fascinating display of talent.
The Asia Cricket Cup 2022 kicked off to an exciting start this week after announcing its schedule of exciting matchups. This year's edition will be hosted by Sri Lanka but will be played in the United Arab Emirates or UAE due to the ongoing political crisis in the host country. With the T20 World Cup only a few months away, the tournament will serve as an important training ground for Asia's top cricketing nations. The Indian team is all set to play their first game against historic rival Pakistan, and we can't wait to watch them in action later this evening.
Last week, British Somali boxer Ramla Ali made history after winning the first ever female boxing match to take place in Saudi Arabia. The London-based former Olympian star beat opponent Crystal Garcia Nova in just 1 minute and 5 seconds in the King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah. Did you know that this victory brings her unbeaten professional record to a total of 7 wins? This is a fantastic achievement that will continue to inspire more girls to take up professional boxing.
As citizens in Britain prepare for the incoming cold winter season, the sky-high electricity prices are making many worry about how they can adequately heat their homes. To provide an alternative, the libraries and museums in the country have stepped up and have promised to provide warm shelters to people to avoid the frigid cold temperatures outside. Not only will people be able to save up on their electricity bills, but they might end up learning a thing or two as well. What an ingenious idea!
Igraspers, did you know that India is home to nearly 122 major languages, making it one of the most linguistically diverse regions in the world? Now, a first of its kind museum is all set to open next year that will be dedicated towards preserving the history of our languages with a special focus on prominent scholars, poets and writers. The museum will be opening at the historic Belvedere House located on the National Library campus of Kolkata and will also chronicle the history of printing press and the journey of public libraries in India. What's more exciting is that there will be augmented and virtual reality tools, graphic walls, and interactive games to enhance the museum experience. We can't wait to visit this wonder.
Spain has been suffering from its worst drought in the decades, and while many are worried by the decreased water level of the rivers, one group is certainly delighted to see the wonders it is exposing. Archaeologists are very excited to see the emergence of a prehistoric stone circle dubbed the Spanish Stonehenge that was first discovered in 1926 but was then covered by the waters of a dam 30 years later. The low water levels in the river Danube have also exposed the hulks of more than 20 German warships that were sunk during World War II. These are certainly treasures and relics of a lost and forgotten time.
The word of the week is incorrigible, which means that cannot be corrected or reformed. Rani has a bad habit of daydreaming. She is incorrigible. The riddle of the week is, how many seconds are there in a year? 12. January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd, and so on till December 2nd.
Can you guess who? This British sportsman, one of the greatest snooker players of all time, and held the #1 rank for 7 consecutive seasons. He dominated the sport during the 1980s, winning 6 world titles and is 4th on all-time list of snooker players. He is famously remembered for the 1985 World Final against Dennis Taylor, which created a record by becoming UK's largest post-midnight television audience with 18.5 million viewers. Were you able to guess? It's Steve Davis. Did you know that his fierce game earned him the nickname Golden Nugget and that he was inducted into the Snooker Hall of Fame in 2011?
Did you know that the brightness and lifespan of a star are related? The brighter the star, the shorter the lifespan, and vice versa. This is because the life expectancy of a star is decided by its mass. The greater the mass of the star, the faster it exhausts its fuel supply, which is required to burn brighter.
Quiz time! Which star in the Earth's night sky is considered to be the brightest? Send your answers to contact us at igraasp.com along with your full name, school name, and a photograph. Answer to the last week's quiz. During World War I, Italian architect Fionnor Jacopozzi designed the moving lights in fake Paris to fool German bombers into believing it was actual Paris. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Vikas Yadav of Malwani Township Secondary School, Malad, for successfully participating in the weekly quiz on India's leading news capsule for tweens, Igraasp.
Dear Igraaspers, this week enter the worst witch's fascinating world. Mildred Hubble is a trainee at Miss Cackle's academy. She runs from one mess to another and is busy playing cleanup. She's always getting her spells wrong and she can't even ride a broomstick without crashing it. Her companion Tabby is a healthy young cat who is too big to sit on Mildred's broomstick. Will Mildred be able to get out of the messes that she has made? Read this riveting first novel from an enthralling series and prepare to be enchanted. Share your comments at igraasp.com/iClub.
We hope you enjoyed this week's news capsule. Remember to take some time out this week and close your eyes and meditate. If you quiet the mind, the soul will speak. So tune into your soul and get in tune with the inner spiritual universe that resides inside you. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.